Payday is a fan favorite series that has managed to stay relevant for almost a decade. There has not been a new entry since 2013 with Payday 2, not including the ports to additional consoles and bundles they have created. And now fans are wondering when we will see Payday 3. So let's break down everything we know about Payday 3, the current release window for the game, and where in development the game is. As always, all the sources will be linked in the description below, so make sure to check those out and support those articles. And with that out of the way, let's get into everything we know about Payday 3. The first mention of Payday 3 was back in February of 2017 when Starbreeze Entertainment released their public 2016 year-end report. Starbreeze, if you don't know, is the developer behind Payday 2 and has been working on the Payday series for the past decade. After the success of Payday 2 in 2015, Starbreeze announced they bought the film rights to Payday, and after that they completely owned every aspect of the Payday IP and became the sole owner of Payday, which meant moving forward, they made all the decisions for the franchise and IP. So with that knowledge, jumping back to 2017 and the year-end report, Payday 3 was directly mentioned. The exact quote in the Starbreeze report said, quote, "It is with great satisfaction that we can also announce that Payday 3 production is officially initiated and at a full design stage. I like to especially clarify that this project will enjoy as much time as we deem needed. It will be done when it's done. This is our single most important brand today and the cornerstone of our business, and we will treat it accordingly. Updates in the near future might be scarce and far between. You simply don't rush Payday 3. With a team of over 550 talented developers post the acquisition of Deruva, we were all staffed for the full productions going forward. With this strategic acquisition, our capacity is very satisfying. Meanwhile, we keep recruiting more game developers to secure quality and talent for the future." Polygon at the time was able to get an update on this comment as well, which had to do with fans asking if Payday 2 was going to continue to be supported while they worked on Payday 3, and of course Starbreeze said that they would continue to support Payday 2 within the foreseeable future, which we have now seen, and they continue to give updates to the game. And I think them just saying back in 2017 that they were working on the game was to just drum up some initial interest, say that that is what's coming next for them, but as they said, they aren't sure how much time it will take, they don't have an exact date at this time, and really want to understand the core mechanics in game before they start moving forward with full-on development. And that also explains why they didn't want to give any more details than they had to, because they just aren't sure at that time. Now, development of Payday did not get any easier throughout that time with Starbreeze and the reconstruction of the company. In December of 2018, the company had a reconstruction due to shortage of liquidity in the company. How liquid a company is essentially the amount of cash the company has, and Starbreeze was very short. So they were able to assess their assets, gain credit, and come up with a plan to pay back their debt. And a lot of that plan relies on the next entry of the Payday franchise, but of course this put extra strain on the developer and could not have made the development for these next few years any easier. Then in April of 2019, fans got excited when Overkill Software, a subsidiary of Starbreeze, released a YouTube video called "New Payday Announcement" in all caps, but the video was posted on April 1st and it was a joke announcement for a Payday Battle Royale game. So even though the April Fool's joke was not loved by the community, we did not have to wait too long for another official Payday 3 announcement, which came in October of 2019, which they mentioned the company moving forward from the reconstruction is now looking for a new publishing agreement and a release window for Payday 3. The statement started with a graph that shows how much they expect their cash flow to increase from the launch of Payday 3, and it just goes with everything I've said before. They are relying on Payday 3, and this graph proves it. It shows how much cash they're expecting from the launch of this game and the continued service of this game. So some of their statements below says, quote, "The cash flows in the graph above are based on the following expected events. The release of Payday 3 estimated to take place in 2022 to 2023. A publishing agreement for Payday 3 concluded during the first half of 2020, and an initial payment installment is received, after which the continued development of the product is financed by the publishing partner. So even though this release still is a few years away at the time of recording, it still is exciting that they have a release date they want to stick with. With the restructuring plan, there's really no room for delays, and once again, they know how important Payday 3 is for the company. And moving on to 2020, Starbreeze started to make more moves for Payday 3 behind the scenes. They sold $5 million worth of shares to help support the development cost of Payday 3. So not only will the cost help development, but it could also change the direction of the company. The $5 million translates to 9.1% of the holdings in Starbreeze and 29% of the voting rights in the company. So the company they sold it to now has a pretty big say in some of the decisions moving forward. And the most recent news we have from Payday 3 has to do with the publishing talks. The 2020 Q1 report from Starbreeze says, quote, "Our discussions with potential partners regarding a future publishing agreement for Payday 3 are continuing in a positive spirit, but travel restrictions due to COVID-19 have somewhat impeded ongoing discussions. We are optimistic that a good publishing agreement is in the offing." And then they continued on saying, quote, "We're going to focus going forward will be on continuing to maintain good and high quality production and closing the publishing agreement for Payday 3. So just a quick recap, as they said, the global pandemic has slowed down the search to find a publishing partner for Payday 3, but luckily Starbreeze does have the time to find a partner, and while they didn't reach the goal of the first half of 2020 nailing that down, we should be hearing more news before the year is over that an official deal has been made, and it doesn't seem like it should be too hard considering how big of a game Payday 2 was, and if Payday 3 promises to be everything Payday 2 was and more, I assume a lot of publishing companies are looking to jump at that offer. Now, the last story I want to mention comes from Starbreeze's website, where they keep a release schedule of all their games. So it includes the game title, the platforms, the development phase, and timing. Now, Payday 3 is on this website, and has been on this website since 2017, but has not been updated since then. So all the information we see for Payday 3 is the same it's been since 2017. The platform says PC, the current phase says design, and no release is given. As I said, this has been the same information since 2017, but that doesn't mean this webpage will never change. So that will be linked down below if you want to stay up to date on if Starbreeze changes it, and hopefully if they keep it going and actually remember they have this, it could be a nice way to see where the game is at every few months. And that is everything we know about Payday 3. I don't think we will see anything from the game until they are able to make a publisher deal. Then we could start to see some early marketing for the game, because that does fall under usually what a publisher does. Any marketing at the earliest will happen in 2021. I also assume that the game will be on next generation consoles, or maybe even launch on current and next generation consoles. Either way, Starbreeze is very good at porting their games to every console out there. So I know most likely they will do the same for Payday 3. So maybe if Payday 3 does launch on next gen, I assume eventually they'll go back and port it to last gen, or vice versa. I assume it will come to Switch. I assume there's a lot of different things they're looking at, and I think they'll get it into as many players' hands as possible. I'm excited to see personally where this franchise is going and how Starbreeze is going to take the franchise to the next level. But as always, make sure to like and share this video, subscribe for weekly gaming news, and I will see you guys in the next one.